Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for Holmes and Watson. So Holmes and Watson is a movie starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, who were also starred in the films Talladega Nights and Step Brothers, and this is their third collaboration together. And this movie is based on the classic characters of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, and they are very smart detectives, but in this movie, of course, because it's a comedy, they play bumbling idiots, and their big enemy, Moriarty, is supposedly going to kill the Queen, and they need to stop him in time so that the Queen does not die, so that they can be considered the greatest detectives still. So Holmes and Watson was a movie I thought looked terrible from the beginning. It was extremely undermarketed. Like, I did not see many trailers for this movie coming out. So I finally went to go check it out, and it's a disaster. It's a complete disaster. People across the country have been walking out of this movie. It's like one of the most walked out of movies ever, and that makes complete and total sense because I wanted to walk out. People in my theater ended up walking out because this movie has nothing going for it. I am honestly surprised, though, that people, just the general movie-going audience, didn't like this movie, because I thought it has, 2 stars in it that they like, and it's got the same type of comedy that you see in these movies all the time, but apparently not even they enjoyed this movie. Everybody, it seems to be against this movie and everything that it stands for, and honestly, I'm not too surprised. Holmes and Watson is extremely unfunny. It is painfully unfunny. I think I laughed once in this movie, but besides that, the rest of it was just a complete and total disaster. It was extremely long, it was extremely boring, and this movie really just had nothing going for it. And the director of this movie, who has a name that's really similar to Ethan Cohen, I think it's like Etan Cohen or something like that, but he clearly didn't know what to do with this movie, because the movie just, as it goes along, you can see more and more that they don't really know what they're doing. Like, the main story of this movie is so poor and so minimal that they need to fill the rest of the film up with just a lot of fluff and a lot of useless, pointless scenes. And a lot of the useless, pointless scenes are either, the two leads, they're either getting drunk or they're being stupid, or just, as it goes along, it gets worse and worse. Like, at the end, they even have a musical number, and all of it just doesn't make sense, and it's all extremely unfunny. The movie just feels like a really tired attempt to be funny, and it doesn't work. It really does feel like everybody who worked on this movie did not care about what they were doing. It did not put in any effort at all, and that was a huge disappointment. I mean, it's weird to say disappointment because I wasn't even looking forward to the movie in the first place, but to go in and, I was hoping maybe I could get some dumb joy out of the movie, and I got nothing. It's plain, and it's stale, and it tries so hard, and it falls completely flat on its face. I will give Holmes and Watson a 2.5 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for Holmes and Watson. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or what do you think of the other Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly movies? Comment in the comment section below, and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.